growing. And we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Is your furnace ready for winter? Call Bryant to perform a thorough check for comfort and peace of mind. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. Whatever it takes.
A lot of people in the summertime think, gee, I want to build a new home. By the time they go through the process of sitting down, getting the permits, and getting the home started, the home isn't done until January or February.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, and they've built neighborhoods in and around Lincoln for over 25 years.
I think the best time to start designing your new home is the month of January, because get an early start on it. Sit down, the snow's flying, let's sit around the table, let's drop some plans, let's put numbers together, let's get a budget put together, and let's get that thing started so that the home's done in summer or fall before school starts. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
The 2026 Love Nebraska season is underway, and professional volleyball is back in a big way. From powerful serves to game-changing rallies, every match brings elite competition to the court. See some of the game's top athletes, including Lexi Rodriguez and Jordan Larson, compete right here in Nebraska. Whether you're a longtime fan or new to the sport, there's a match for you this season. Explore the full schedule and plan your night out at lovbneb.com/schedule. Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. 93.7 The Ticket. Fox, KFXL Weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: cloudy skies expected, be breezy and cold. The afternoon high of just 2 above. Tonight, snow likely and cold, low around 1 below. And tomorrow, continued chance of snow, otherwise cloudy and cold. An afternoon high around 8. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, where your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is the Adam Carriker'S Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everidge. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to the Adam Carriker'S show here on 93.7 The Ticket. So I walk in, everyone looks like they're freezing to death in the Ticket. I'm not going to call anybody out, DP and Jake, but everybody looks like they're freezing to death in the Ticket. I didn't even have my jacket zipped up. Now, I'm not claiming to be tough. I'm claiming to be not normal and slightly crazy. I love this type of stuff. I will readily admit I'm in the vast minority, and that's okay. I've said it before, so vouch for me or call me a liar if this is not true, Jake. I love hot weather. I love cold weather. I literally love everything. I'm not a big fan of humidity. I could do with a little less humidity. Not a big fan of that. But I love the extremes. I love the different seasons. It's a terrible pun. The only thing I don't like is the wind because it blows. Everything else, I'm pretty much a big fan of. Have I not said this before, dating back to last basketball season in winter when it was snow was blowing everywhere?
Oh, yeah, you've mentioned it before. I still can't even believe right now you're in a T-shirt.
Well, I didn't walk in a T-shirt, to be clear. I did, but I had a jacket, just wasn't zipped up over it. What if I just walked in a T-shirt? What would you have thought of that?
I still think you're crazy. I'm the exact opposite. I hate this. It hurts to go outside.
I love it. I just do. I've always liked it. Again, I don't like wind. I'm not a big, gigantic fan of humidity. I like vast changes in weather. People who live in California like, oh, it's 72 year round. That sounds terrible. Like, I want seasons. I want snow on Christmas more often than not. I want heat in the summer. I want a reason to get in a pool. Then I want a reason to do whatever. Like, that's just me. I want to know from the text line, who agrees with me? We'll get like 3 texts in. Maybe 1, maybe 0. And who doesn't agree with me? Let us know on the text line. What's the number there, Jake?
402-464-5685.
All right, we will be joined later today. Again, I mentioned it yesterday by Kenny Wilhite. I did not follow up and confirm with him. Maybe, do you have Kenny's number real quick?
Yeah.
Just confirm with him for me if you don't mind. Make sure. I'm sure he'll be on. But just to confirm, he's going to join us later today. I'm loving the cold weather. I don't know. I will say this. I also like cold weather over hot weather. And a lot of that has to do with playing games. I'd much rather play football as a big, gigantic human being that I once used to be. And those pads, for some reason, do not add air conditioning. So I tend to get hot really quick. So I always preferred cold weather games over hot weather games. And I think I mentioned this in the past. Every year, like in college, you have your schedules way in advance. You kind of have an idea what it's going to look like. Feels like 90% of your games are at home. So it's not that big a deal. But in the NFL, you're going to have 10 times you go on the road. Well, back then it was 8 regular season, 2 preseason, and then if you made the playoffs or not. Now there's 17 games in a year. Oh, there are only 3 preseason, so it's probably still about 10 times you go on the road. I would always look and see. Hot, cold, and Denver. The altitude. I have asthma. The altitude absolutely would affect me at times. So I would always look to see, mostly hot and altitude. I didn't mind cold, to be honest with you. It's mostly the hot, like in August, September, when it's really hot. And then the altitude. Was I going to be able to breathe that one day a year or not? Oddly enough, I lived outside of Denver for well over a decade. The only NFL team I never played against was the Broncos. Oddly enough. The only team I did not play against. Has there been any textual responses per the question so far?
Troy and Lincoln says, typical lineman. I love the weather too. Eric says, Adam is a psychopath.
Thank you.
3767 says, I'm with Adam. 9831 said cold weather is better. And Big Bird says, tell Kansas to quit sucking and it wouldn't be so windy.
Oh, I thought it was it because Iowa blows or Colorado blows? The corn leans one way or the other? It was one of them blows and the corn leans one way. They both we're just stuck in the middle here is what it is, to be honest with you. All right. Lots to talk about. The college football playoff. Going to stay at 12 teams. Eventually, let's be real, there's going to be like 94 teams eventually. But for now, because they can't get on the same page, the Big Ten wants 24. The SEC wants 16. It's astounding to me, not because I want to go to 24. I'm just astounded the SEC didn't say yes. I feel like we're going to go eventually. There's more money to be made, which is why I know it's going to happen. It feels to me like the SEC, it's like a power move. It's like we both know we want to go to 24, but because we said 16 and you said 24, Big Ten, now we're going to say no because it wasn't our idea. That's what it feels like to me. Otherwise, why in the world would they be saying no to this? Again, I do not agree with it. I do not like it. I do not support it. I understand what it's about. It's about revenue. So why would they say no to this other than to just kind of stick it to the Big Ten because they're tired of us curb stomping them on the field right now?
I believe the current 2014 model would include an elimination of championship games, and they don't want to give that up.
Is that really?
That from what I could tell. I can try to look more into it, but that's what I heard.
So Georgia has won the last 2 SEC championships. That is quite a feat. For years, a lot of people considered that right behind the 2 college football playoff games when we had 4 teams in. They considered that to be the 3rd biggest game in the country every year, especially people who lived in the Southeast for whatever reason would think that. But the past 2 years, I don't think anybody really cares that Georgia won the SEC, and it's because of the way college football is set up. For me, to win the SEC, to win the Big Ten, especially when you add the 4 West Coast teams to the Big Ten, you add Texas, Oklahoma to the SEC, that's a pretty good feat. But the way it's set up, it does not matter as much anymore. It just does not matter. And that's what surprises me. You're not going to make more money through an SEC championship game that's going to become less and less. And by the way, I wish they mattered more. I want to be clear. I wish they mattered more. But you're not going to make more money through one SEC championship game that's going to lose its value more and more every year. The more and more people realize it's not that big of a deal, which they're kind of at right now, unfortunately, versus let's add 8 more teams, 4 more games. And actually, it adds more than that as you go through each round of the playoffs. It's just surprising to me. Again, I'm actually kind of ready to talk about my college football playoff, how to fix it. Like, I teased it all last year, and I never just sat down, like, made the final little tweaks. I'm kind of ready. But, again, I don't support adding a bunch more teams. I really don't. I just know what's going to happen, whether I like it or not. Whether I know Jake doesn't like it. If it was up to you, I know you don't want more than 12, so I won't ask. Would it be 12? Would it be 8, 4, or BCS 2?
I think 4 is probably the best. I love the 2 because it makes it absolutely, you can't lose any regular season game, and that's incredible for me. But I understand, and a lot of times with that model, you'd have a 3rd team that has an argument at a title, or undefeated teams wouldn't get their shot. So 4 sounds good to me.
I've actually, just knowing the way the world is, I've arrived at a 14. I won't go through the whole diatribe because it really, and we're going to talk about Nebraska's 2027 class and just my concerns with how things work and how that might affect the 2027 class here in a minute. And we'll talk to Kenny later in the show. Did he confirm? Deny?
Not yet.
Okay.
I texted him, though. We'll see.
I know he listens to the show a lot. Kenny, shoot me a text, or Jake. Whoever you like more, text that person. Let us know you're coming on.
That's right.
He's not listening, so he's just going to text you, and then you're going to feel more popular. And I'm going to wallow in tears. No, because I believe in 4 equal. Even when we had 5 power conferences, I always said 4. I like 4 16-team conferences. I've always liked that. Now that we've gone to 4, but not really 4, it's really 2 and 2 and everybody else, I still like 4 more balanced conferences. So this would include re-divvying up all the conferences, like changing it entirely where some of these teams are. And actually, funnily enough, the way I geographically have allocated these teams, I don't want to get into it today. It would be the Big 12 that goes away. The Pac-12 would come back. Texas and Oklahoma would be in the Pac-12. Just to give a couple of hints, Notre Dame would be in a conference. And as much as I'd love them to be in the Big 10, they're kind of like Texas. They just kind of do whatever they want. Also, the ACC needs some help, so just make them a full-time conference in the ACC. If you're trying to make 4 balanced conferences, which I like better than 2. So essentially, you'd have your 4 conference champs. They would automatically get in. You'd have 14 teams. What I would do with the G5, instead of getting rid of them entirely, having them do their own thing, here I am. I'm explaining it without meaning to explaining it. Okay. I'm going to save it for another day. Is that terrible that I started to explain it?
That's quite the tease.
I know.
Group of 5's just hanging here in the balance.
I apologize. Okay. Instead of having 5, I'd have 2. Group of 2. So you'd have your 4 power conferences. You'd have 2 G2 leagues of 16 teams. So you'd have 64 power conference teams, 4 conferences of 16 teams. You'd have your 2 G2 teams. All right. Because I don't see why we have all these G5 teams and then only 1 team gets in. You're spreading out the talent amongst all these other. Let's condense it a little bit more to just 2 conferences. And I actually tried to get it down to 1 conference. If you want to keep like Army, Navy, Air Force, I don't know how realistic it is for them to compete for a national title, but I like teams like that still being in the FBS. I don't want to get rid of the Army, Navy game, all that stuff. So when you start to keep some of those teams in, it's kind of like, all right, you end up with 2 of these G2 conferences. And so essentially the 4 power conference champs to get in, the 2 G2 conferences champs we're getting, which is why we go from 12 to 14. Essentially, I created 2 extra spots for those 2 teams to get in. And then you fill in with the at-larges. The top 2 seeds would get a bye. They have to be a conference champ to be a top 2 seed. You have to be, so it places importance on the conference championship. If you are a Power 4 conference champ, you automatically get a first-round home playoff game. All right, so you could either have a bye as a Power 4 conference champ, or you're guaranteed to be a top 8 seed, so you're guaranteed to have a first-round home playoff game. The 2 G2 champs, you're in. Wherever you're seated, you're in. And I like them being in because I still like the idea of Cinderella. If we're going to go 12 teams like we have right now, I'm like, you know what? Let's get a couple more games. Because if you expand to 14 teams with other Power 4 teams, you're just allowing them to lose more games. And you're devaluing the regular season. So it's kind of my way of keeping Cinderella in there. And if these teams get blown out every year, so what? You think 3 versus 14 is going to be close more often than not? No, at least there's a chance for a Cinderella. You think 4 versus 13 is going to be close? No, not really. All you've done is allow more teams with more losses to get in, which de-amplifies the importance of the regular season. Well, how do I get more teams in the playoff without de-amplifying the importance of the regular season? Well, I allow these G2 teams to get in. So you get more teams in. You still have a possibility of Cinderella. If they get blown out, so what? You still got your 12 Power 4 teams that you were going to have anyways. And actually right now you only have 11 because G5 currently gets in right now to the 12. And last year we had 2 that got into the 12. So to me, you get more playoff games. You're not devaluing the regular season anymore because you're not allowing all these extra Power 4 teams in. You get a potential Cinderella, a bunch of blowouts that are probably going to happen, whether it's a 4-loss Power 4 team or a 1-loss G2 team. And to me, there's more intrigue there. The top 2 Power 4 conference champs get a bye. So then that first round, you got 3-14, 4-13, all that stuff. You play it on out. If you're a lower ranked Power 4 conference champ, it's wherever you fall, you just got to be in the top 8. So you're guaranteed a first round home playoff game. And then there's more that goes into it after that, like when the national title game would be. What do you do with the Rose Bowl? Do you have 25 days off in between playoff games? No. How does this all play out? And it actually, the reason I don't want to dive into it today is because it bleeds into how you fix the portal and the calendar. And when should National Signing Day for the high school kids be? And when do you do the portal and everything? By the way, I'm going to give you a hint. College football's version of free agency, the portal, would be after the season is over. It's just an idea. It's a radical concept. High school signing day would be after the season is over, sometime in January, before second semester starts, in case you still want to early enroll. It's just these crazy concepts. But I would actually like to explain why Texas and OU go to the resurrected Pac-12 and the Big 12 goes away. I don't know. I feel like I've given enough of a teaser, explained enough, so I didn't leave everybody hanging.
Yeah.
But without diatribing the whole thing. Like Army-Navy, they'd go to the beginning of the season. Because if you want to start the playoffs right away, what do you do with the Army-Navy game? You kick them off in week 0. You make them the headlining act to start the season instead of ending the regular season. Stuff like that. Have I given enough so that people don't feel like I completely left them hanging without going into the whole diatribe here?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's a proper tease.
Do you like what I've explained so far? Like why I'd go to 14?
Yeah.
Why I'd keep the G2, but not everybody in the G2? How some of the seeding would work and things like that? Home playoff games?
Oh yeah, it all sounds pretty good. You just got to get everybody to agree, and that's the problem.
That is the truth. Oh, by the way, there'd be a college football commissioner. I don't have to be the guy. It just makes sense if it's going to be my idea, It just makes logical sense to me. But there would be somebody in charge who has the greater good of college football in mind. That's actually the very first thing that needs to be implemented if you want to know the truth. The very first thing. All right. If you can't tell, I'm very ready to talk about it. There's other things that are on the forefront of my mind right now. It got prompted with the fact that the playoff is going to stay at 12 teams for next year, which we all know is not going to stay there long term. I would not hate it if it did. Just let's fix the calendar first, then maybe address the playoff. Let's see how 12 teams works for a couple of years. I don't know, maybe a little beta test more than 1 or 2 years. Anyways, before we dive into some of the concerns I have when it comes to high school recruiting, things of that nature. And I'm not the first one to say these things, but this is the first time I've seen them on the show. I do want to give a shout out, all right, sponsors, to Culligan Water here. As a former Husker and NFL player, you know I'm a bit of a health nut. Hydration recovery, they do start at home. Make sure you team up with Culligan of Lincoln. Soft water means better showers, cleaner dishes, and it protects your water heater and appliances. Their high-efficiency softener cuts salt and water usage. For drinking, make sure that you add a Culligan reverse osmosis. Ladies and gentlemen, it is like bottled quality water right at your tap. It's great taste, and it's certified to reduce tough contaminants like lead and PFAs. Right now, get up to $300 off a whole home system, or just $9.95 a month for your first 3 months. Schedule your free water test at CulliganHuskers.com. Again, that's CulliganHuskers.com. Culligan of Lincoln, water you love, go Big Red. Anything off the text line as far as my genius idea to fix the college football playoff, of which I gave no real intimate details, but just enough to tease for the future, or the fact that I love cold weather way too much?
They're still working on like Hammond beats it in Colorado blows and Iowa sucks. That's why.
That's what it is. Yeah. It was something like, thank you. All right. Anything that was hey, we had to get that right. That was very important today. Anything else?
No, but Kenny is confirmed for 12:30.
All right. Kenny Wilhite will be joining us. Oh, he texted you back? He
did. He heard you say who's favorite, Texas favorite.
I want clarification. If you just saw your text, if you heard me on air, I want clarification. Now I'm getting hypersensitive. All right. So anything else real quick?
No.
Okay. So Nebraska's 2026 recruiting class. That's clearly been the emphasis. Hold on. Am I saying this right? Is it 2026 or 2027? My bad. 2027 has clearly been the emphasis when it comes to high school recruiting. All right. You look at the national recruiting rankings. We finished this last class. Well, it's not finished. Signing day hasn't happened until February 4th. Officially, we're still working on a 330-pound D tackle. We just got a quarterback to commit, a guy who can run, by the way. I feel like we kind of, I don't want to say we backed into Anthony Calandria and we backed into Tanner, the high school quarterback who's coming, but I feel like we kind of backed into a couple of pretty decent situations with these guys. What do you think?
I still think, is it because we went to Vegas for the bowl game? Is that why we've got these Vegas connections now?
I don't know, man. Whatever works. I mean, Rule hung out a couple days after the bowl game. Maybe that's what he was really doing there. Who knows? But you look at our 2027 class. Right now, we're ranked 5th in the country. So top 5, Oklahoma, A&M, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Nebraska. You look at where we currently stand, at least the last time I looked, we actually jumped up because we were 111th for the 2026 class. When we added Tanner, it jumped us up to 96th. So there's clearly more of an emphasis on next year's class. More guys, probably a little bit more time's been put into recruiting. The portal class has 16 players. We knew that would have to be a little bit of an emphasis, retaining the current roster. I love the idea of bringing in guys, young guys. If you try to build an NFL team through free agency, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, you need to bring in good players, veteran players. You have a hole in your roster. You don't fill it through the draft, or you're really young. You need a kid to have a couple, 2 years before they develop and are ready to play. You bring in a guy through free agency. You pay him some moolah. They come in and make an immediate impact. That's got to be a part of it, but it can't be the whole thing because you end up spending more money that way. Also, those guys come in, they've been trained by someone else. I watched a big-time nose guard free agent come in. Well, I watched one D tackle come in from Tennessee, and he just did whatever he wanted. But another guy, you know who I'm talking about from Tennessee?
I'm guessing, yeah.
Titans just did it. Biggest defensive player contract, the history of the game at the time. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Anyways, another nose guard came in from the Giants, and he was actually pretty coachable, very smart, played at Northwestern. But there was a couple of times where he looked right at our D-line coach. He said, that's not how we did it in New York. Just stared at him. And I was like, well, this isn't my problem, but man. And one time he goes, that's not how we did it in New York. We just won a Super Bowl. Like, what was our coach supposed to say back? They had just beaten the Patriots. So you're going to have a little bit of that. But when you look at college, building, because you can bring in the young guys. You can train them how you want to train them, introduce them to your culture. But what's a little bit different in college is if a guy comes in and he plays as a young guy, the very next year, he can come back and try to renegotiate. And if you retain him, he can come back again. Like it's every single year, he can say, I want more money. It's not like in the NFL where they sign longer contracts. So that becomes an issue. I love our 2027 class. The concerns I have when it comes to recruiting high school kids, which I've always been a fan of, bring in somebody who fits what you want to do, train them in the way that you want them trained, and that's how you build something. The concern I have is how much harder is it to do that in today's day and age, because even if you retain that young man who has played well and every year asks for more money and you keep giving it to him because you feel like he's worth it, if he doesn't come back, you've trained him, you've developed him, another school could, hey, here's $8 million if you're a really good quarterback, come over here. Well, you might have offered him 6.5. He takes the extra 1.5. Thanks for the development. Now I'm over here. He might be in your conference and you might be playing him. Does that make sense? Like, that's my concern with high school recruiting. I am not knocking it. I still love it. When the portal first opened, I'm like, no, you can't build a team through the portal. And I still don't think you can build a team entirely through the portal because of issues that come along with that. But I view the portal as more important to college football than free agency is to the NFL, simply because a rookie's going to be with you for a few years. A 19, 20-year-old freshman or sophomore may or may not. And then every year, if they want to, they can come back and ask for more right now. So I love our class. And I know you got the Trey Taylor thing. You know, we discussed that yesterday. I don't have to dive into all that coming to Nebraska. As a whole, I love the class. 2 of the 4 highest ranked players Nebraska has ever had commit to the University of Nebraska are in this class. Exciting players. I mean, you just kind of go down the list. You got Trey Taylor, you got Torrey Pittman. You know, he's one of them. Or Ontavious Ellis, Amir Brown, Matt Erickson. That dude is ginormous, by the way. You look at some of these guys, and it's exciting. And I love it. But until you can sign a guy to a 3-year contract. So I chatted with, it was the Michigan's offensive line coach at the Outland Trophy. I was chatting with him about this. Because I was like, why don't you guys just implement 3-year contracts? Like, every player has to be out of high school for 3 years to even think about the NFL. That's the rule. So why not just start with a 3-year contract? He goes, if you do that, and another school offers them the same money but says it's only 1 year, he's going to go to the school that offers him only a 1-year contract because he can come back and ask for more the next year. So you might not even get a lot of these players. And I was like, God, that's right. That's where Commissioner Adam Carriker needs to come in and say 3-year contracts, minimum. You can transfer one time. Now, if your coach leaves, you can get a bonus transfer or something like that. But outside of your coach leaving, you get one transfer. Like, we need to do what's best for the sport across the board, because right now it's the wild, wild west and everyone's doing what's best for themselves. And I can't even fault them. They're in a system where you not only are encouraged to, you have to do what's best for yourself, or you're going to get left in the dust. You look at Iowa State losing their entire team. You look at Oklahoma State. What happened with them and Gundy? Now all of a sudden they get a new coach, and apparently the booster is a lot more open to helping them out. They look like they got a brighter future. Sometimes the coach's hands are tied with the people who have the money. I wonder how much of the decisions that are made that are connected to coaches are connected to coaches, but even more so sometimes connected to the guys with the money. I wonder that sometimes. Does what I'm saying make sense? I know we got to go to break. What are your thoughts on all this, Jake?
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I get what you're saying. It feels less stable now, especially to build through the high school ranks. I mean, we talk about it. It was always may have been a long shot of when, I mean, for guys to stick around. And just a couple years ago, too, it was, it was kind of thought that things were changing. College football was changing. And so it's like, okay, well, who knows what's going to be like 3 to 4 years from now. Now it's like actively, we don't know, right? We're talking, we open up in the show. We don't know what the playoffs going to look like. There's all these other problems around it. So, I mean, I can say as a guy that liked recruiting, used to get into it a lot more than I do now, is because you don't know. And like you're saying, you are a lot of times developing a big portion of your roster for somebody else down the line. And they're doing the same. I mean, it's cyclical. So you kind of get that as well. But to put so much emphasis in a high school recruiting class now, it's just harder to do as a fan. And it's certainly harder to do if you're building a roster.
All right, we got to go to break. So now we're not sure about Kenny.
Yeah.
You angered him. I'm going to blame this on you. You angered him, and now he may not be joining us. We'll get clarification during the commercial break. Either we'll chat with Black Shirt legend Kenny Wilhite, or we'll continue to dive into this conversation, and we'll do a teaser here. So it's pretty obvious. You look at Dylan Raiola, he's going to redshirt next year behind Dante Moore 2 years from now. What if he has like an All-American type season? You think we're not going to say, hey, for 2 years, we helped contribute to that? You think we won't feel like that? Just as an example, that the example that's near and dear to Huskers fans' hearts. So anyways, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Every winter, I struggle with feeling sluggish and down. I've read about the benefits of red light systems, but trying the Spectrum 7 at MaxTan has become my bright spot. A few sessions of full body red light, and I'm more energized and centered. It's my go-to winter boost, MaxTan.
The 2026 Love Nebraska season is underway, and professional volleyball is back in a big way. From powerful serves to game-changing rallies, every match brings elite competition to the court. See some of the game's top athletes, including Lexi Rodriguez and Jordan Larson, compete right here in Nebraska. Whether you're a longtime fan or new to the sport, there's a match for you this season. Explore the full schedule and plan your night out at lovbneb.com/schedule.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Madsen's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is your year to win way more than bragging rights. At Warhorse Casino, your love of the game could earn you serious cash. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with cash prizes all season long, like up to $1,000 weekly, with your chance at $1 million, all while earning tier points and comp points every time you place a sports bet. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flat work, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations. Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: cloudy skies expected, be breezy and cold. The afternoon high just 2 above. Tonight, snow likely and cold, low around 1 below. And tomorrow, continued chance of snow, otherwise cloudy and cold. an afternoon high around 8. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is the Adam Carriker'S Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker'S Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the noon hour. You fine folks know what that means. It's lunchtime. Get warm today for those that need it, like Jake.
That's right.
And have a great lunch. All right. Go to Mulberry Barbecue now with 2 locations at 11th and Cornhusker and a 61st and Apples Way, right off of Highway 2 by Lowe's. Both locations are open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Make sure you try their burn-end sandwich, a brisket burrito, barbecue nachos, full slab of ribs, a half-smoked chicken, and much, much more. Plus, get incredible size. Get fueled for lunch today or make dinner plans at Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker and a 61st and Apples Way, just off of Highway 2 by Lowe's. All right, so Kenny got pulled into a meeting. He texted me on the side and said he got upset with Jake. You know, Jake's thinking that he was a favorite, so he's no longer going to come on the show today. No, he's not available. He got pulled into a meeting. We can have him back on the show at another date in the future. So, first of all, Jake actually had to step out. He's working on a clip because I guess Stephen A. Smith kind of went off on Notre Dame. Like if they're in the top 12, just ranked in the top 12 somewhere, they get in the college football playoff automatically, no matter what. And I think people are getting tired of this special treatment. I've been saying for years, join a conference. Now, Cam Newton kind of went off and he's like, Notre Dame hasn't been relevant for years. Well, they did play the national title game 2 years ago. Okay. They almost made the college football playoff this year. I'm not going to say that they've not been relevant. Marcus Freeman's a really good coach. I'm actually a big fan of Marcus Freeman. I did not like seeing him on my television screen during the national title game. Like, I don't care how good you are. I don't care that you coached here last year. You took your ball and you went home when you weren't in the playoff this year because you lost to Miami on the field. By the way, clearly Miami deserved to be in. So I needed more time before I wanted to see because I said this on social media. Boy, I got quite the interesting reaction. But I enjoyed that, by the way. Notre Dame fans found my X account, my Facebook account. That turned interesting. It's all good. For me, I just needed more time. Great coach. Honestly, I would like Nebraska and how we play to start to look how like Notre Dame plays, how Utah plays. Like I would like that. I just needed more time before I saw the guy who took his ball and went home because he didn't get in the playoff, wouldn't even play in a bowl game. I still feel bad for those seniors. Like, what if you're a senior who's not going to the NFL? I got one more game. No, I don't. Anyways, it was the captain's decisions, but he signed off on it. I just didn't want to see him on my TV. But Notre Dame has a good program. Marcus Freeman has built them up. He does a great job coaching. There's a reason when Brian Kelly left to go to LSU all those years ago and it was announced in the locker room that Freeman was the new head coach, the locker room erupted. There's a reason. All right. But Notre Dame still needs to join a conference. Why do we have to make special rules for them? Like if you're not in a conference, you need to be one of the at-large teams. You need to earn it outright. We'll play that clip later. Were you able to get that?
Yeah.
I just kind of threw it at Jake during the break because I just saw it during the break in my own defense. But coming back to the topic at hand, that'll be the last segment. The topic at hand, high school recruiting. When you look at again, there was clearly a drastic difference in emphasis put on the 2026 class. Not that we don't have some good players, but the class as a whole and the 2027 class so far. When one is ranked 96, one is ranked 5th. For me, I get excited about this class. I love high school recruiting, but the more time goes on, the more you look around. And unless changes are made by whoever the college football commissioner should be at some point, unless changes are made for the overall arching good of the game, right now you live in a world where you bring in a talented kid, you're going to have to pay him more every year or he's going to leave, and then you developed him, and on your dime, he goes and plays and makes plays for someone else. It's a real part of the game right now that is a little concerning. I love that we've got an exciting 2027 class. I hope we have a plan in place to alleviate some of these concerns that I did not just come up with these. I've heard other people talk about them, and then boom, I immediately thought of our Husker team and the plan that we obviously have going forward when it comes into bringing in talent acquisition, whether it's via the portal, via high school in the near future. So is there anything off the text line regarding this? And I did bring up Dylan Raiola because I do think Husker fans will feel some kind of way if 2 years from now, he's putting up like All-American numbers. And it was like, started here for 2 years for us, redshirted there. So obviously there would have been a year of development and improvement there, you would probably assume, unless he leaves Oregon after this year, which who knows. But I feel like Husker fans would feel some kind of way. And then they come to Lincoln 2 years from now. We go to Eugene next year. They come to Lincoln 2 years from now. I don't know. What are your thoughts on all of this in general? Because I do think that would be a frustrating thing for Husker fans if that happens. But just in general, the concerns that exist with some of the things I've been chatting about. What are your thoughts on all this, Jake? What's the text line have to say too?
Yeah, I mean, I think we kind of went through that a little bit with Wandale, right? I mean, I still feel like fans and myself, I'd like to claim Wandale as a Nebraska alumni, but obviously his most recent stop, Kentucky, his most successful stop, Kentucky. Now he's a 1,000-yard receiver in the NFL. 1922 says it seems like there is no loyalty, and I'm questioning the integrity of college athletics. I know that it's kind of interesting when you talk about committing to a school if you're a freshman and you might not have, what freshman knows what what school is gonna look like, 4 years from now. You have to kind of go through your own learning experience there too. But there are a lot of different ways to kind of go about the NIL, and especially the rev share. A lot of teams are kind of have a base model for freshmen coming in as rev share. So you might just hunt whoever has the highest level of rev share for freshmen without any intent really of sticking around in the long term. And then once you go through that year, like if you're pretty much going to redshirt somewhere, especially if you're an offensive lineman, defensive lineman, and you need to add weight to consider the play, you can hunt the highest rev share that they give to freshmen from the beginning, and then put yourself back in the portal in year one or year two. I mean, we're seeing it happen everywhere. You don't highlight any one individual, but there's guys that have been 3, 4, 5 schools now, and I'm assuming they're getting pay bumps, along the way.
You just outlined something I'd not even thought of. I don't care where I go to school. And not a lot of guys redshirt right now. Let's be honest. Like, you use linemen for a perfect reason. They're the most likely to redshirt. It's the position that's the hardest to play early at, especially as offensive line. You got to put the mass on, the size on, everything else. If I'm a big-time recruit offensive line, and I'm planning on redshirting, who's the highest bidder? I'll just go there. I'll get better. I'll lift. I'll practice. I'll get paid. Then I'll hit the portal. All right, now who's a playoff contender and wants to pay me? I had not even thought of that. That's what you just outlined, right?
Yeah.
Dude, that had not even occurred to me. Okay. I'm just going to throw something out there. I'm not going to throw it out there. I was going to say what that's Dylan Raiola's doing right now at Oregon. What if he's, I don't know. He didn't know what Dante Moore was going to do. Dude, that's another wrinkle and curveball I'd not even thought of. That's crazy. Where does it end? Like, where do we draw lines? Where do we say this is not sustainable? Where do we say this is terrible for the sport? I'm gonna diatribe something real quick, because I think a lot of the people in charge of college football, we already know the priority isn't what's best for the sport. They never talk about fans. Hey, what do the fans want? They never talk about the players. They don't even throw around the buzzwords player safety anymore. They don't even pretend to care. They don't talk about players. They don't talk about fans. It's revenue playoff revenue playoff, money, money, money. That's what it is. They do not care about what's best for the sport. I think that is beyond safe to say. They run this sport like they don't plan on being here in 5 years. If you want to know the truth, there's no way they can think this is sustainable. No way. No reasonable person could reasonably think this. I tried to go Bob Diaco. Did I nail it at all? Or it's the strain. What was it? Reasonably reasonable? Did the strain, the spectacular strain, whatever it was. I actually like Diaco, but that just popped into my head because I knew reasonable was going to come a couple of times out of my mouth. And here's what I'm getting at. I think they have the attitude of college football is not going anywhere. We can basically do what we want and people will just keep coming back. Would you say the NBA is not significantly less popular than it used to be? It is beyond significantly less popular than it used to be. And as a result, making way less TV ratings are way down, making way less money as a result. Is that a fair assumption to make?
Yeah, especially here in the States. I think it's grown globally, but yeah.
So that is fair. And there's a few reasons for that. Okay, I'm getting to the heart of it. There's a few reasons. Sometimes when you have a player that comes from another country who's great, they're a great player, you're just not familiar with them. So you don't have that star power as you walk in the door. Like the NFL has, because college football creates stars for the NFL every year. So sometimes it takes a while to figure out who this. So that's fair. But I think as an overarching whole, there's kind of an attitude of we're going to manage load manage. We're going to take days off. We're going to chuck up threes. We're not really going to go to the hoop like we used to. We're not going to play a lot of great defense consistently by everybody. It's an overgeneralization here, but there's a lot of truth to what I'm saying. And gradually, like I look back to the 90s, I look back to the early 2000s, basketball was so popular. It's still popular, but it has dropped. The NBA has dropped. And I mean, people know I'm a wrestling guy. I'm a WWE guy. I actually don't talk about it a ton. I really don't. I had someone come up to me the other day. Was it Remington? I think it was Remington. He goes, dude, you just eat pro wrestling. I'm like, I never talk about pro wrestling really on my shows. He goes, dude, you talk like Hogan and Austin. And I'm like, well, that's fair. I mean, I won't argue with that. That's who I watch. You know, I don't, Tony Robbins is great, but I don't watch a whole lot of Tony Robbins. I go watch Austin and Cena because that's, when you can hold millions of people in the palm of your hand live on national television week after week after week after week, and your job depends on it, I don't care whether you think it's real, fake, or otherwise, that's impressive. So, I'm entertained by them, to be honest with you. I was like, okay, but it takes me back to something I've heard Eric Bischoff say. So for those who don't know, Eric Bischoff ran WCW. WCW is the only company that ever pushed WWE, formerly WWF, to the limit. For 83 weeks, they dominated the ratings over WWF at the time. Now, eventually, WCW went out of business, and WWF bought WCW. Now it's WWE, and the story and the world keeps spinning. But my point is, Bischoff would talk about, because he's the guy who ran WCW, he would talk about our ratings. Their show was called Monday Nitro. Our ratings for a Monday Nitro weren't reflective of what happened in that show. Our ratings for a Monday Nitro were reflective of what happened the previous 9 months. People tune in based on what happens over 6, 8, 9, 10-month periods. He says, so what we're doing tonight, it'll have an effect on the ratings a little bit, but it's really an accumulation effect of what happens 8, 9, 10 months, a year from now. There are wrestling storylines who take a year to 18 months to unfold. There's various reasons for this, but part of it is this. You want people to stay tuned in long term, and the longer term they stay tuned in, the more people tune in. My point is, there was a point in time where the NBA was like, we're so popular, we can get away with certain things as an overarching overgeneralization, but there's a lot of truth to what I'm saying. And now here we are 15, 20 years later, it's not near as popular as it once was. I fear if we persist down this road, I fear college football may, I don't want to say suffer a similar fate, but they may see a similar disengagement, and you may not see it right now. You may not even see it next year. In fact, right now, college football's popularity and ratings are at an all-time high. But this is an off-season, and it's not just, frustrations with Husker football or whatever. This is an off-season where you see college football fans getting frustrated with certain things, and they're paying less and less attention. And I fear that over time, this may catch up to college football if the leadership doesn't change, priorities don't change, and college football doesn't become, frankly, more respectable with how it's run and a more sustainable model implemented sooner rather than later with how it's ran. I know we got to go to break, but what are your thoughts on that? Does that make sense? Because I tried to equate college football to the NBA, to pro wrestling and TV ratings, and I think it made sense, but did the dots all connect for you?
It does, but again, it's interesting to watch it play out. I completely agree with you. I love how college football was structured in the past. I would have all these different changes. All that and in the national championship game was the best since their first one in 2014, according to TV ratings. So again, maybe that's the Indiana story. Maybe part of that's Miami market, but that's people are still tuning in to watch the mayhem.
It's interesting because drama will get an immediate reaction. But over time, it becomes tiresome, and then people quit paying attention and they don't respect it. Like an immediate firestorm catches your attention. But over time, people, no, you need something with more substance and more sustainable. There's a reason certain TV series last 10 years, and some only last 5. Like Breaking Bad was phenomenal. But it got so intense so fast, where were they going to go with it? They could only go so far with Breaking Bad. It only had 5 seasons. I couldn't believe it. One of the most talked about TV shows I've ever seen in my life. And it only lasted 5 seasons because it got so intense, so hot, so crazy, so fast, they couldn't sustain it. Where were you going to go with it? And it was still a great show, but they had to end it after 5 seasons versus some shows that go a little bit longer. So don't go anywhere. And we come back. If there's anything off the text line, let me know. Also, I don't know. I don't even know what Stephen A. Smith says. I just saw the headline. He's bashing Notre Dame, and it intrigued me. So, and I know he's kind of crazy and likes to go off and has no problem expressing his opinion. So don't go in there and we come back. We'll see what Stephen A. Smith has to say.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O. Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
This is your year to win way more than bragging rights. At Warhorse Casino, your love of the game could earn you serious cash. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with cash prizes all season long, like up to $1,000 weekly, with your chance at $1 million, all while earning tier points and comp points every time you place a sports bet. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Clear your calendar. It's a volleyball weekend in Omaha. Love Nebraska returns to Baxter Arena for back-to-back home matches on January 30th and February 1st, facing Love Madison and Love Austin. 2 matches, 2 chances to see your hometown team compete as the season heats up. Featuring Lexi Rodriguez and Jordan Larson taking on the likes of Lauren Carlini and Maddie Skinner, and special moments throughout the weekend. This is your opportunity to catch all the action live. Make it one night or both nights. Get your tickets now at lobbneb.com/tickets.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
This is the Adam Carriker'S Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Adam Carriker'S Show is sponsored by our good friends at Suizo Construction, where safety isn't just a policy, it is a promise. Suizo is hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back both on and off the job site. Apply today at Suizo.com. 40 years strong in business. Suizo Construction. Again, that's SCHWISOW.com. Also, this good program is sponsored by our good friends at Hamilton Telecommunications. They bring you the latest in quality technology and communication services since 19 Learn more about the residential and business services at hamiltontel.com. That's hamiltontel.com. We got AFC, NFC championship games. Now, I predicted the Rams and the Bills to make it all the way to the Super Bowl. 2 wild card teams who basically, no bye, had to win every game on the road. It's such a wide open field this year in the NFL. I just went with, I think the NFC is not great, and Josh Allen. Now, obviously, the Josh Allen and Bills thing didn't work out, but the Rams are still alive. So, AFC, NFC championship game. What do the teams look like? Who you taking?
Yeah, again, so Patriots at Broncos. Of course, no Bo Nix here. Broncos, of course, at the home team, though.
I would have, in this matchup, I would have taken the Broncos with Bo Nix. I'm gonna go Patriots. You?
Yeah, I'm the same way. I think a lot of people feel that. Rams at Seahawks. Again, Seahawks, the home team here. The season series was split. The Rams won at home by 2. Seahawks won at home by 1.
I'm sticking with the Rams, the team I had going to the Super Bowl. Sam Darnold. How much faith do you have in Sam Darnold, Jake?
Not as much as Stafford. and that is why I think I'm going to lean with the Rams too.
All right. I like it. I got no issue with it. Okay. Let's roll and I don't even value Stephen A. Smith's knowledge when it comes to college football. Basically, he's bashing Notre Dame not being in a conference, and they're getting to have their cake and eat it too, and I'm here for it. So go ahead and roll the clip.
The reason why I'm ticked off is because what the hell is this about Notre Dame? Why do we got a separate category for Notre Dame? What makes them so damn special? I'm really sick of this Notre Dame fawning. I mean, who the hell are they? Okay, they're fighting Irish. Whatever. I love Marcus Freeman. Love him. Okay? Great coach, all right? And I respect Notre Dame. And I want to state for the record that I think that they should have been in the postseason. I get it. They were clearly one of the top 12 teams in the nation. But when people are complaining about, Alabama went in there ahead of them. Well, Alabama went to Athens and beat Georgia on the road weeks earlier.
Pause it.
Stomped in
Alabama also played in an SEC championship game because they're in a conference, a game that Notre Dame didn't play in. And I want to reiterate what he said. I really like Marcus Freeman. I actually like Notre Dame. I love the way they play. I just don't like that they get special treatment. Proceed.
SEC championship game by Georgia a few weeks later, but they were pretty banged up at that particular moment in time, and they had beaten Georgia on the road. They played a conference championship game. What was Notre Dame doing? They were at home sitting on their couch. Why? Because they're not a member of a conference. They had an opportunity to be a member of a conference due to AD sitting there whining and moaning about how, Miami, the ACC commission didn't speak up for Notre Dame, but spoke up for Miami. Well, you got about 25 sports. 23 of them are in the ACC, but you pull football out because you want to keep the bag for yourself. So you want the bag, plus you want them to sit up there and bloviate about you, even though you won't associate your football program with the conference because you want to keep the bag all for yourself. And then when you don't make the playoffs, you want to blame everybody else instead of looking for the mirror into the mirror. This is sickening. It should be 16 to 20 teams in the playoffs. I'm not sick over that. I just prefer 16 to 20 over the 12. But this separate category, Notre Dame is definitely going to be in if they finish in the top 12. Bump Notre Dame. Get your ass in a conference and compete like everybody else. You sit up there, SEC got a contract, ACC got a contract, Big Ten got a contract as a conference.
All right. So when it comes to Notre Dame, I actually root for Notre Dame. I do, in general. I like Marcus Freeman. I love the way Notre Dame plays. They are absolutely relevant. But it's about time they were treated like everybody else. He references the ACC. It's not 23 out of 25 sports. It's 24 out of 25. The only one that's not in the ACC from a Notre Dame University perspective is the football team. You remember 2020? Notre Dame wasn't going to be able to play because only teams were only playing conference games that year. Big Ten, only Big Ten teams. ACC.
Yeah,
remember the ACC let Notre Dame play? Why didn't Notre Dame stay in the ACC? They said, we'll take advantage of you helping us now and sayonara as soon as we don't need you. That's what bothers me. Compete on an equal playing field just like everyone else. That's all I'm saying. You got any thoughts before we get out of here?
Again, you gotta. There's got to be somebody to force them. There's got to be incentive for it.
Any nominations, Jake?
Well, I'm just saying. Look at them now. Again, they're already getting special treatment with the way we're filling in this next playoff. So why? That's not going to force them to make the move.
So the special treatment is they don't have to win a conference. All they have to do is be ranked in the top 12, which no other team in the country has, and they're automatically in the playoff. Ladies and gentlemen, have a glorious weekend. Enjoy the cold weather. Go, Big Red Nose. Remember to throw the bone.
This is your year to win way more than bragging rights. At Warhorse Casino, your love of the game could earn you serious cash.